Hello, this is an aim drill that I'll be recording for myself and for anyone who happens to stumble across this video, and generally just a rundown of what I do to practice my aim. Keep in mind, these are aim drills, these are not for warm-up. You do not ever do these drills before playing a game. You'll be too drained to focus and you will not be able to perform, and you'll be putting your wrists at risk. It's not worth it. Don't do it. These are generally something you would do when you set aside time for maybe 2 hours at a time or an hour at a time, an hour and a half at a time to just focus and do these aim drills. That's what these are for. They are not warm-up routines, they are aim drills, completely different things. Now, first things first, we have target tracking. Now, if you notice with all these subheadings here, these are just to focus on specific things, but tracking takes up the most amount of time because generally, all the principles you work on in the tracking subheading will be worked on in the other two, which is why it has the most amount of time, because it covers the most bases. So first we have target tracking. Now target tracking is just a refresher, because there will be days where you feel off, there will be days where your sensitivity won't feel right, and you'll have the need to change it, to make it higher, make it lower. That's what this little exercise is here for, is to remind you of how your sensitivity feels like, get used to the feel of your mouse, to get comfortable with your equipment. All you do is just aim at the head, the crosshair, and slow walk around, and try and track them as you walk around. Now, it's impossible to be perfect. Perfection is a lie. No one can be perfect, not even robots. So just relax and do the best you can. I would not recommend doing this for more than 2 minutes at a time because this will really hurt your wrist. Because this makes you focus really hard on your wrist, and trust me, after a while, it will fucking hurt. Had happened to me once before, not fun. So that's target tracking. That's all you have to do. Just walking around, aiming at his head. Just get used to this feel of your sensitivity in your mouse. Now, number two, ADS target tracking. Again, this is just another little exercise for you to get used to your sensitivity. It's very much you aim, fire. Take your time. This is not a speed test. This is a precision test. Just take your time. From target to target. Just aiming down with the Guardian. Now, I chose the Guardian specifically because it's a single shot weapon. The need to spam or hold down mouse on the fire is not here with the Guardian. So the Guardian and the Sheriff are really good for practicing your aim because you're forced to single shot. That means you need to be accurate. So the Guardian and the Sheriff are really good for practicing your aim. So for ADS target tracking, just aim down, target to target. Now, once you finish doing that, Sheriff head lock-ons. Now, do you want to put it on easy, and turn on bot armor and infinite ammo, and just start. This is not a speed test, this is a precision test. You just want to flick, lock onto their head, delay, then shoot. Why you would delay is so your brain can get used to the idea of, hey, I need to shoot the head. So by locking on, you let your brain register that, hey, I'm aiming to the head. Is this the head? Yes, it is. Now click. Because everyone wants those one taps, right? So that's Sheriff head lock-ons. Again, just to reiterate, it is just for your brain to understand that you have to hit the head, to flick to the head, and register, yes, this is the head, and shoot. That's all it's for. Now, strafing bot guardian tracking. What that looks like is you want to turn on strafe, eliminate 50, or 100, whatever's up to you, press start. And the bot starts moving. Now, again, not a speed test, this is just for you to get used to tracking the bot's head. It is impossible to do this perfectly. You're only doing this perfectly if you have an aimbot. And even then that will struggle. The purpose of this exercise is just for you to get used to trying to react to unpredictable movements and adjusting for it. And then shooting when you feel like you're ready. Does this strain the wrist? Yes, it does. How long should I do this? Generally up to your discretion. I prefer to do these at very short intervals because of how straining it is on the wrist. And then you'll probably be wondering, hey, but then why is this entire thing 1 hour long? The reason why this is 1 hour long is because the bulk of the time is usually at the Sheriff head lock-ons and the Miyagi method. Those are where the bulk of the time goes towards. Target tracking would generally be about maybe 2 minutes. ADS, maybe another 2 minutes or 5 minutes even. Sheriff head lock-ons, that can, again, vary. I put these times for myself, but you can use these times as a baseline for however you want to organize the drill. So that's the bot guardian tracking. Again, don't speed this up, you'll gain nothing out of it. Take it slow, get used to the feel, only speed up once you feel like you're comfortable. Now, the last part of this is the Miyagi method. I'm sure you've seen this fucking everywhere. You go to a deathmatch, you get a sheriff, you get a guardian, you just want to lock onto their head, essentially repeating the sheriff head lock-on drill, but on live targets this time, in deathmatch. That's all there is to this.
Deathmatch.
So by the guardian, by the sheriff, and then just practice, tracking the head. This is not a kill test or anything of the sort. This is just for you
remember,
to get used to the feel of tracking live targets.
It's just good crime scene etiquette.
Fight!
Okay, let's get set up. Buried.
And once you do this drill, you'll start to realize how slow people really are. And that if you just relax and take your time, you'll notice how much time you have to kill your target. And this is Breeze, and I love this map, and it's so open, I barely fucking see anyone. Oh, hello. So, see that? That's what happens when you panic. If you just take your time to lock on the head and register it, you have the easiest kill in the world. So that's all this drill really is. It's not a kill count or how many you can kill, how fast you can kill them. It's just for you to lock onto their head and take your time. This is just to force you to calm down. It's to force you to get used to the feel of making sure you're actually aiming at the target instead of panic spraying. Don't worry about your death count or whatever. This is not a number game. You're just here to self-improve. Who cares if you die 100 times? Who cares if the guy killed you by running and gunning? It doesn't matter. You don't get anything from getting angry. There's no point to getting angry at all. You're just here to improve yourself. That's all. See? He killed him by running and gunning. If he went to do that in a comp game, he wouldn't improve. But you will be, because you're putting the time in. And again, you will die a lot. And that's fine. Don't bother with it. So really, that's all there is to this part. This entire thing, the reason why this takes so much bulk of your time is because it's a live practice. You're versing real people, so you have to account for their live movements, yes? Which is why this takes so long. So you're just here to get used to it. Now the next step in the aim drill is flicks and target acquisition. The first step are vertical and horizontal twitches. Now what I mean by that is, you just want to put that on practice, turn strafe off, infinite ammo, bot armor on, and generally what you're doing is just getting used to the feel of micro moving your mouse. This is macro. Macro usually means your entire arm, but this is micro. Little flicks. And just go to the head. This, again, is just to make yourself familiar with the sensitivity and to incorporate in your own muscle memory. If shit hits the fan, you already know how to move your mouse, so you already know how to get to the target. Don't worry about missing your targets, it is fine, you will miss. There is no such thing as 100% accuracy. Just accept the faults and improve on them. That's all you can do. So this is vertical. Horizontal. Then you can incorporate both by going diagonally, up to down, Now again, this is very straining on the wrist, so don't take too long on this. Take breaks. Don't force yourself through the pain, you'll gain nothing from it. That's vertical and horizontal twitches. Very easy, very straightforward, but hard to get right. However, don't be that guy who goes, oh, but this is easy, you know, why don't you need to practice this? Yes, then you're special. Good job. Get a cookie, get a gold star. But that doesn't matter. This is just to practice and to hone in what you may not know and what you already know. Ego has no place in practice. So that's the first step. The second step is regular fast aiming and double flicking, rapid target acquisition. Regular fast aiming, just the generic aim drill that I'm sure you've all done at some point. Just then you want to switch guns maybe. That's just regular fast aiming. Again, this is just to refresh you, warm yourself up again. Remember to get used to the feel. And just to know how each gun feels. So when push comes to shove, you don't need to worry about anything. It's already in your muscle memory. It's just a matter of executing it. Now, double flicking, or rapid target acquisition. What that would look like is designate 2 targets, whichever 2 targets you want, within your range. In my case, for this example, I'll use this target and this target. Note those 2 targets in your head, and then try and kill both of them without touching any other bots in rapid succession. That's all this does. But if you're wondering what this drill is for, what the purpose is, it's basically, once you're finishing off one target, you already know to move on to the next one. There's no hesitation or trying to recognize the next target. You already know because you've done the drills. So it's already ingrained in your muscle memory, so once you're encountered by more than one opponent, you already know to deal with the next one without even thinking. Just to make traits like these as good as breathing. That's the whole point of this drill. Again, do not worry about missing. You're just here to improve. Everyone misses. That's okay. And you want to spice things up, make the range bigger. Or go further away even. So it becomes micro movement. And of course the way I'm doing it is considered quite slow. Faster, it's more like that, except if I actually hit the target, but I'm shit. So, now you have vantage point shooting. This is optional. I like to do this myself because it just wakes up my brain in recognizing different kinds of targets from different angles, and just to wake myself up really. So, because of how often I do these drills, it feels like I'm doing the same things over and over and over again. And that's when your brain turns itself off and goes into autopilot. That's bad. You don't want that. The whole point of these drills is you need to be active. You need to be focused in and understand your faults. What am I doing wrong? Am I undershooting? Am I overshooting? Or does my sense still feel wrong after doing all this? Does my crosshair feel wrong? It's for you to be hyper aware and focused in so you know what's going wrong and what's going right and how you can fix and improve that. So once you feel like, hey, I'm kind of snoozing off now, that's when I like to do vantage point shooting. And I pick jets and just go on these wooden beams and shoot from top down here. Very rarely, and of course in an actual game, will you ever really need to shoot from here. But this is just to wake your brain up in trying to recognize new shapes, new targets, new colors. Now, the last part is movement and strafing. So this, again, very straightforward, and the reason why this is the shortest drill out of all of them, 5 to 10 minutes, is because you've already done these with your tracking, inflicts, and target acquisition drills, and especially in the Miyagi method. You've already incorporated all of these. These are just to further hone them, because now they're explicitly focused on them. So in this case, we have shoulder peeking. Now shoulder peeking is more or less like this, just using the war and just recognizing your target and shooting like that. It looks a lot like a pre-fire, yes, so I guess in a way you could consider it practice for pre-fire. So just once, see the target, align, and then that's what this drill looks like. And the next part is strafing. Now, strafing is different from shoulder peeking because shoulder peeking, you're practicing acquiring a target in a very short amount of time and trying to deal with it while exposing yourself as little as possible. The mere strafing is the big brother of it. It's just you moving side to side and timing your strafes to be on point with your target. Now the Sheriff and the Guardian are best for this drill because you'll be using this movement with these guns a lot. But the Sheriff more so. So I prefer to grab the Sheriff in this case and just practice. Now, you can speed this up if you want, but if you feel like you're struggling with movement and counter strafing, or this particular day you feel really sluggish, then just take it really slow. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no faults in it. So just move. And just getting yourself to recognize to stop moving and fire. Then you can speed this up. And of course, that's it for the drills. The main things I want whoever's watching this to take away is that you're doing this to self-improve. While yes, it is good to be truthful to yourself, there's no point kicking yourself down and calling yourself shit or calling yourself trash. It does nothing for you. You just have to be hyper aware and focused in to understand that, hey, what I'm doing isn't working. So I should try to change it up. I need to focus and understand what I'm doing wrong and how to fix it. Now, I am not saying take this drill as a holy grail. There are hundreds of other drills out there you can do, but this is what I found suits me the most. Everyone's different. I'm just giving out what I feel like is right for me, and hopefully it'll be right for you too. If not, sorry I couldn't be of service, but hopefully you could learn something from this. And that's generally it.